90 Days, 90 Reasons. This one's written by Margaret Cho, who is a comedian, actor, author, and musician. She is currently on tour performing her new stand-up show, Mother. Now, reason number 80 is Romney has called the Arizona immigration law, SB 1070, model for the nation. And that's kind of half true because he said the E-Verify portion was, but the problem is he does have the guy who wrote the law in his cabinet. So the thought that he said that out of his mouth really isn't technically true, but it's half true. Barack Obama is the first president I have ever thought of as my president, and these last 4 years have been the only time when I felt my vote and my opinion made a difference. Growing up, my parents never voted because they were immigrants, and even though they didn't have they thought they didn't have the right to. Even though they paid taxes, they didn't feel empowered and enough to entitle to themselves to a voice. As a result, they allowed politicians who didn't care about them to work against their best interests. As much as Mitt Romney would like to convince others that he cares about people like my parents, he doesn't. In the past, Romney has called the punitive and inhumane Arizona law SB 1070 a model for the nation. SB 1070 allows Arizona law enforcement officials to detain anyone suspected of being in the country illegally, thereby enabling racial profiling. Romney selected a leading prominent proponent of SB 1070, Chris Kobach, as his advisor on immigration, later demoting him after taking heat for the appointment. During the Republican primaries, Romney strongly criticized Governor Rick Perry's support of a Texas law granting undocumented immigrant student access to in-state college tuition rates. Furthermore, he advocated for a 2,600-mile fence along the U.S.-Mexican border. In 2008, he said this: "My plan is this, which is for those who have come here illegally and are here illegally today, no amnesty." Now, how do people return home? Under the ideal setting, at least in my view, you say that those who have just come in recently, we're going to send you back home immediately. We're not going to let you stay here. You just go back home. For those who have been here, let's say 5 years and have kids in school, you allow the kids to complete the school year. You allow people to make their arrangements, and then you allow them to return back home. Those that have been here a long time with kids and responsibilities and so forth, you'll let them stay long enough to arrange their affairs and go home. Recently, the former governor has changed his tune on immigration, as he has with a myriad of other issues, in an attempt to woo undecided voters in the general election. He's now saying that he would not overturn a directive by President Obama that would allow hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants brought to the U.S. as children to stay in the country. But don't be fooled by his backtracking. In January, Kobach told Fox News that Romney had the most far-right views on immigration of any of the GOP presidential candidates. Now Romney has shaken the Etch-a-Sketch again and would like you to think otherwise. The fact is, Romney demonstrated routine ignorance with regards to issues and interests of immigrants. When I was growing up, I didn't understand how significant it was that my parents felt that they didn't deserve to vote. Now I understand too well what it means. Immigrants need a voice. They need to matter. And they need a president who respects their humanity. Margaret Cho, Los Angeles, California, 90 Days, 90 Reasons, number 80.